Hey y'all, I'm Jasmine and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys 10 things I wish I had known before going to pharmacy school. So if you're interested, make sure you keep watching. And today's video is in collaboration with my girl who is a medical school student at UNC. Her name is Kareen Duo. I will have her YouTube channel information on the screen and I'll also have it in the description box. So make sure y'all keep watching and check out her video if you're interested in medical school. Thanks for watching, y'all. Okay, so first things first is a topic that a lot of pharmacy students talk about but I wasn't aware of, and that is job market saturation. And I wish I had known about it before going to pharmacy school, because now sometimes it feels like a source of stress for me because I didn't know before. But if you guys don't know, job market saturation is basically there are a lot of pharmacy school students who are graduating, but the jobs that are created for pharmacists aren't matching the number of graduates that are actually graduating. So it can lead to uncertainty around the job market for new graduates, and it can also lead to uncertainty for pharmacists in general about jobs. But what I will say is there are a number of things that you can do to kind of prepare yourself for job market saturation and to make yourself stand out from the competition. So the first thing, going to a top pharmacy school, and also pursuing postgraduate training after you finish pharmacy school. So along with that, I also wish I had known the type of students that pursue pharmacy. So I consider myself a type A person, and a lot of pharmacy students are very type A. So before coming to pharmacy school, I wish I had known more about my classmates being type A, because I would have been prepared for group work and group settings. So number two, I wish I had known some of the personality traits that are common amongst pharmacy students. So before coming to pharmacy school, I had no idea what a guideline was. And a guideline is essentially a scaffold of how you want to treat a patient in certain situations, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So before pharmacy school, or now that I'm a pharmacy student, I wish I would have known that guidelines are not enough. So it's great that you know the stepwise approach of how to treat a patient, but in pharmacy it's much more than that. It's about knowing what to do in special circumstances and for special situations. So I wish I had known that guidelines are not enough. You need to know a little bit more to get your foot in the door and to effectively treat patients. The next thing I wish I would have known is that time management is so important. So before coming to pharmacy school, I always considered myself to be very organized. I kept a planner. I always scheduled out my days. But being in pharmacy school, time is of the essence. It is so important to manage your time effectively, because you only have 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep, but you also have so many things to accomplish for all of your classes. If you're on rotations, you have a lot of things to do to make sure that your patients are well taken care of. So ultimately, I wish I had known that time management was much more important. And beyond that, I wish I would have known some of the resources that I use now for time management. So I do have a paper planner, and that is my key to making sure that I'm planned, but also using the calendar on my Outlook, which is my email. I also use sticky notes on my computer. I use handwritten sticky notes. And lastly, I use reminders on my phone just to make sure that I am well organized and I effectively manage my time to get all the things done that I need to. So the next thing I wish I had known before coming to pharmacy school is that it's not all about grades. Of course, grades are important, but when I got to pharmacy school, my mental health suffered a little bit just because I focused so heavily on making sure that I aced all of my exams and made sure that I was a stellar student. But in reality, your mental health is so important. So before coming to pharmacy school, I wish I had known that self-care is key. If you do not take care of yourself, you will not excel academically and you will not excel outside of the classroom. So ultimately, my anxiety was heightened once I got into pharmacy school, just because it's a professional school environment. So I wish I had known that mental health is so important, and to effectively utilize any resources that you have to make sure that your mental health is in check while you're also pursuing this degree program. So I do wish I had known about the amount of work that you have in pharmacy school. So I was always considered a smart student. I was never considered someone who couldn't accomplish goals in school. So before coming to pharmacy school, I had the same approach. I'm going to do well. I'm going to excel academically. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to retain all this information. But once I got into pharmacy school, one of my professors showed a picture, and it's basically someone trying to drink water out of a fire hose. And that is so true. And initially it scared the crap out of me, but to be honest, the amount of information presented in pharmacy school it sometimes feels overwhelming, like you can't do it, but there is a lot of information and it happens at a very rapid pace. So before pharmacy school, I wish I had mentally prepared myself for that transition from undergrad, because it's a lot of information and it's very fast paced. So I wish I had known this. But just a disclaimer, it is doable. You can do it. Other people have done it before you, but in reality, it's a lot of work and it comes at you really fast. So what I wish I had known was also that at my school, in our curriculum, we had something called a pharmacy bridging course, which was essentially 3 weeks of foundational information that you should have learned in undergrad, but it was at rapid fire pace. So things from organic chemistry to biochemistry, all those things were covered within the first 3 weeks, which is quite different than a lot of pharmacy schools that use that first semester to get you up to par and get you up to speed for where they want you to be with foundational information. So a lot of information, very fast, but you can do it because I made it. So the next thing I wish I had known was that pharmacy is a team-based sport. Like, you will work in teams in nearly almost every single class that you're in, because in reality, for clinical pharmacists, and that's what my school essentially prepares us for, is for clinical pharmacy, you are on a medical team. So you have to effectively work with people, you have to know how to speak with people, you have to know how to make recommendations when you're surrounded by people. So ultimately, teamwork has been such a huge part of my training, and I did not know that it was gonna be. So I wish I had known that team-based learning is critical and key in pharmacy school. And I also wish I had known that working with team was gonna be a huge part of your grades, essentially. So in reality, in pharmacy school, most people are driven and most people do their work, but it's still very different relying on a team versus working by yourself. So I wish I had known that teamwork was such a huge part of pharmacy school. So I don't know if you guys can hear the alarm in the background, but sorry, somebody in my apartment complex has their car alarm going off. But along with that, I did talk about my school being very clinical and the focus being on clinical pharmacy. So I wish I had known before attending pharmacy school what the curriculum would look like at the program I selected. And ultimately that was on me, because I should have looked more into the curriculum. But ultimately, depending on the type of pharmacy that you want to practice, if you want to do community pharmacy, if you want to be a clinical pharmacist, if you want to practice in industry, what you should do is look into the curriculum at your school and make sure that the curriculum that's offered directly aligns with the career that you want to pursue post-graduation. So ultimately, I wish I had known that my school has such a huge emphasis on clinical pharmacy, just so that I could have looked at other options in terms of the career goals that I have post-graduation. So before coming to pharmacy school, I had no idea what evidence-based medicine was. And evidence-based medicine is essentially where you have to use clinical research and primary literature to support whatever recommendations you're going to make for a patient. And ultimately, if you don't have key foundational information through research, then it's not really valid. And I wish I had known that before pharmacy school, because maybe I would have freshened up on my statistical knowledge, just because literature is so key in pharmacy school. And in reality, if you don't really know how to analyze research articles and research journals, then you may not be as successful as you would like to be. So I wish I had known that evidence-based medicine was such a huge part of pharmacy practice. Okay, so the last thing I wish I had known pertains to my study methods. So when I first got into pharmacy school, I was the person that went to the library before class. After class, I would go home, eat dinner, study more, and do it all over again the next day. So I essentially kind of burned myself out. So I wish I had known before that it's okay to take a break from studying. And when you don't necessarily feel like studying, try to use online tools that are quick and easy. So utilizing Quizlet, Anki, those things can really help you to study without actually having to go through, sit down, write notes, read, and do things that are very labor intensive. So ultimately, I wish I would have known about quick and easy ways to study so that I wouldn't have burned myself out. And I also wish I would have known to take a break, girl. Just chill. It will be okay. You will graduate. So those are some of the things I wish I had known. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really think that these tips will help people who are interested in pursuing pharmacy but aren't quite sure. And also for students who are going to be entering their first year of pharmacy school really soon. So thank y'all for watching. Also, special thanks to Corinne Duo for partnering with me for this video. Make sure you guys watch her YouTube channel. She's really awesome and she's really helpful if you're interested in pursuing medical school. But again, thanks for watching. Also, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to know more about me, my lifestyle in pharmacy, and to get a dose of Jasmine. Make sure y'all click on another video. It's going to be popping up really soon. Bye, y'all.